I'm kind of a believer in maybe not trying to commit to one or the other, but just finding the balance between the two that works best for you. I would say the way that I found the perfect balance for me is by making every mistake, right? It's like I've tried every direction and run into walls or run into things that I don't like or that don't work. You could have one per project contractor and a few tools, and you can knock out one great client every month and make a fantastic living and have an awesome lifestyle.
What's, in your opinion, some of the big differences between operating as a freelancer and then starting to build some sort of agency business?
I think there are a lot of differences, but I think it's at least in my mind, it's not like a one or the other type of thing, right? It's not black and white. I think there's a really cool spectrum of how much you can leverage other people's time and your own money and AI and tools. And so, this is something that we've really been trying to nail down exactly what it means to have an agency, and also if there are ways to still get the benefits of an agency without having to have full-time employees. And so that's actually something that we're working on right now. Is it's a program called Solo Agency Blueprint. And it's funny because when people hear solo agency, they're like, you can't have an agency if it's solo, right? Like that makes no sense. That's kind of like an oxymoron. But it's something that we've really found works so well for especially designers who don't want to have the stress of like training a team, managing a team, paying full-time salaries. And so you find this hybrid between freelancer and agency where it's like, I do most of the work that I like. Maybe I have a few contractors that I don't have to pay full-time, but I just pay them per project anytime I need help. You can kind of deploy different automations and templatize your work. And so you build this thing that has the benefits of an agency. You can appeal to bigger businesses. You can charge more. You have more resources to take on bigger projects, but you still have the low overhead of a freelancer. And, you have the lifestyle and you get to control your own schedule and you have less stress and risk. And so I'm kind of a believer in maybe not trying to commit to one or the other, but just finding the balance between the two that works best for you. And that's different for everyone, It depends on how much you want to make and how much time you want to work and what parts of the business you like running.
Yeah. I think you're right. It's not so, like binary. It's not so black and white, like agency, freelancer. There's a lot of like give and take. I know, like people would be maybe kind of confused on how I run my business, which is somewhere in that gray area, right? Like I do a lot of the work myself. I outsource certain pieces. I only have like a specific like niche and type of client that I work with. And I've found works well with my schedule and my wants and goals, dreams for life. So it wouldn't fit everybody, but it definitely like it works well for me. And how do you start to kind of guide and navigate your growing business?
Yeah, I love this question because I feel like I've had some pretty significant life events that have kind of helped mold the way I run my business. And I would say the way that I found the perfect balance for me is by making every mistake, right? It's like I've tried every direction and run into walls or run into things that I don't like or that don't work. But I would say the biggest experience that really helped me understand the way I run my business, and we were just talking about this a minute ago, but at the end of 2021, I was diagnosed with cancer and I had to go through 7 months of chemo. And so I was unable to work. I was, just mentally and emotionally, I was checked out. And so it made it really difficult to manage a team and to find new clients. And so a lot of those things that I used to do and frankly enjoy doing, that wasn't a possibility for me anymore. And so it really made me think like, man, I'm doing a lot more than I probably should be. And so during that time, I had to make some major adjustments as far as like how I'm paying my people. Like one of the big mistakes I made was I was paying my people hourly or full-time salaries. And I had to get to a point where I'd pay them per project, a set rate. And that way I didn't carry as much risk for my business, right? And then when it came to finding clients, I was spending tons of time on Zoom calls with prospects that they weren't really right for us, right? And so I found better ways to vet those prospects and maybe save myself some time there and automate kind of that sales process. And so those are a few things that I kind of adjusted to find the perfect balance of having like a lean team that I can trust, that know how I like things done, and then not trying to like scale beyond what is realistic for me, right? Like I think sometimes we use as like a key indicator of success how many people work for me or how many clients I work with, and it's like that's not really how it works. Like you could have one per project contractor and a few tools, and you can knock out one great client every month and make a fantastic living and have an awesome lifestyle. And so I think I really had to learn that the hard way of I need to do what's right for me and for my business and for my clients. And that's not always the sexy thing or the most impressive thing. And I'm certainly grateful for all those experiences and mistakes that have helped me find the right dynamic that works for me.